はいどうも、これからですね、映画トランスフォーマー1のクリス・ヘムズワースとブライアン・タイリー・ヘンリー、そしてプロデューサーのロレンツォ・ディ・ボナベンチュラさんにインタビューをします。どうぞご覧ください。
Hi, this is from Tokyo. Konnichiwa, nice to meet you.
Konnichiwa. Hey, how are you? Hey, good to see you.
So, the Optimus Prime and Megatron have a long history in TV series and live-action movies, and they are established, but this time is a younger version of themselves, so I guess you have some freedom to bring your stuff. But how much did you follow the original voice actors like Peter Cullen and Hugo Weaving or Frank Welker, or did you stick to your plan?
It was definitely, for me, a big influence on what I was doing. I knew there had to be a weight and a tonality that was similar to what Peter had done so brilliantly. And it was kind of an end point. I knew I had to eventually lean into that cadence and this sort of precision that he had performed. But this was, as you say, the younger, more youthful version. It's an origin story. There needed to be a sort of a spontaneity and almost a sort of reckless quality to the character. There was still this blind optimism that he had, but there was an enthusiasm that I think was different to what anyone had been aware of, and we had the freedom to create these characters that was sort of a blank canvas in a way, to sort of build something that resonated with us and eventually aligned with what had been done before.
Yeah, people had never heard this version of who they are before. People, their names haven't been said before. Orion Pax D16. You never even heard Megatron have his voice crack. Like there are moments of uncertainty that he speaks, and you can hear tears sometimes, you can hear fear, you can hear Orion, the vulnerability, which gave us a huge playground to explore. So, we got to bring in our own individual takes of what we thought or who we thought they were as young men.
And if you remember the last time we talked about the Rise of the Beast, and after the Beast movie successfully explored the new chapters, why was it important to return the character's past with this one?
It's always been a great story that we wanted to tell, and we felt like this was the right time for it. Its themes have a lot to do with what's going on in the world today. So we felt like it was going to be a very relatable story at this moment, and also we like our fans to keep getting new experiences from us.
And the director Josh has mentioned before that this is not a direct prequel to live-action ones, but if there are sequels, would it go towards a live-action version of the story?
I don't think so. It depends on who you ask, but this is taking place 300 million years to 3 billion years ago. So there's plenty of time before we get to the live action. And frankly, the relationship between Megatron and Optimus has a lot of room to grow before Optimus is driven off the planet. So there's a lot of story still to go on Cybertron.
Brian, you play Jeff Morales in the Spider-Verse movie, so you have voice acting experience. But this movie has some action sequences, so I guess you both had to try something new as a voice actor. And what was the most challenging part of it?
I think just that, the vulnerability of where Megatron lived, because I think Chris and I both knew that at some point we were going to say the iconic lines of I am Optimus Prime, I am Megatron. We knew that we were going to get there, but we had a whole story before, just, trying to discover who they are, discovering themselves. So, it was trying to figure out where that sat, right? Like, I remember thinking, I think that D16 is me when I was 19, 20, trying to figure out who I am. And so I didn't want to change my voice too much. I wanted him to kind of sound like me. I wanted him to sound like somebody who was, incredibly vulnerable, incredibly naive at times, just to show the youthfulness, to show that there was a tender side of him, to show that there was heart to him. But also it allowed places for us to play. Like, it gave me an opportunity to just keep his voice in a space that was very light and very free, that was open to emotion, really.
I think right now you are figuring it out how to do the Transformers in the G.I.ジョー crossover movie, but yes. How much does this film story and the reputation affect it?
It affects it very profoundly in one way, which is because we had no human characters in this movie, all the emotion that we always have in the human characters went into the robots. and now you've met robots in their full personality and their full glory, if you would. So I don't think we can go back to the version of the robots we've had before in the series. We have to bring that approach to the live action.
When will we have the film?
That I don't know.
Okay, alright. And Chris Hemsworth play Optimus Prime in this one, but what character will he play in the next crossover movie?
He's going to play a G.I. Joe, and we're debating which character.
Do you think people would be confused that if this one gets a sequel and then the crossover come out, Chris will be playing different characters?
I think, well, first of all, his character from this won't be in live action, but if Chris's face was in the animation, I might say yes, but because it's not his face, I don't think so.
This is the first theatrical animated feature film in a while, and what does it mean to you to extend the expressions that are not possible in the live action, but are only possible in the animated version?
Well, what's great is it lets your imagination go to places it couldn't go with the live action. So, for instance, imagining what Cybertron looks like and then saying, well, what happens if a planet can transform? You could never do that in live action. So that's where we were able to do things you just couldn't do. You can't have an upside down city. Those are all things that change, in a way, how we feel about the world that you're exploring. And so we wanted this colorful, magnificent world that you couldn't do in live action.
Alright, my time is over. Again, thank you very much.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day. Thank you.